2, 1. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Paintball Therapy. This is Brad reporting, and we are having another chat with Marcus from the UK Predators and Kevin Donaldson. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
Hello, Brad.
Thanks, Brad. Hey, guys.
Absolutely. And we've taken a couple weeks off because there's been some busy schedules between the three of us. So let's play a little catch up and say, Kevin, why don't you tell us what's new with the Woodsball World Cup?
Well, we've got the okay to hold the event. So we're on June 27th, 28th at PSI New York in Newburgh. We're working constantly on the fields and the facility to get it up to par so that we can play. We're having a little difficulty getting the number of teams that we had originally thought we were get. We were actually sold out with 40 teams, but due to the coronavirus, that's fallen apart. So right now we've got about 7 or 8 teams that are definitely coming in, and a lot of teams trying to get here.
Right.
We're going to hold the event regardless, at least at this point. And just hoping more people will get interested and get involved and come out and play.
Right. And that's a great thing. It's one of those things where the regional players and teams need to come together. The last time we talked, you said something about a big game team that never even played Woodsball. Have they been in contact with you since then? And
yes, they're coming. They're attending. I actually invited them out to practice with us Sunday because we're practicing still. We're playing every weekend.
Yep.
And they just can't make it because of the Memorial Day holiday, but they'll be back down. They'll definitely be back down. Great bunch of kids.
Fantastic.
Really.
Fantastic.
And that's what we all want, right? Don't we want to get more teams into this?
Yeah.
Isn't that what this is all about? So, to develop another team that's going to, try the classic format and the mechanical format for the first time is, it's worth having the event just for teams like that. I hope more teams that are out there or people that are out there will get together and come out and give this thing a try. This is their opportunity to get out early and play some paintball, play some tournament paintball, and get their feet wet with what we've got going on here, the classic format. It's a great opportunity for scenario players to make the transition over to tournament ball, or at least give it a try. If you're in the local area, come on out. Hit me up on Facebook, hit up Jerry Braun, and, get a team together. If you're short a few guys or you need a couple of players, I'm sure there's hundreds of players out there that will be willing to put together a free agent team just to play, and I think we can help you do that.
Yep. How have your practices, your attendance at the practices been?
Well, it's been invite only, so I'm basically just inviting people.
But when you have 50 people to invite or over that, way over that.
Yeah, well, I invite them. Obviously, I invite my Blaster Pro Squad first.
Yep.
And then I get a head count of how many of those guys want to come out, and then I build from there. And I have a basic list of guys that I run down, and I haven't gotten even a third through my list,
right,
before I max out my attendance.
Yep.
And it's only because we're kind of we're playing 10-man. The main reason I'm even on the field. The main reason I'm doing this and having these practices is to play the fields. Perfect. And every weekend that we've gone out, we've gone home, come back the following weekend and made adjustments.
Yep.
This bunker has to go, add 3 bunkers over here. I need to stand up for the fat big guys over here. I don't want to stand up over there. How are the fields playing? How many minutes does it take to win from each side? So, we're really, we're working really hard to give you guys or to give the players like the best possible fields.
Absolutely.
And spending a lot of time doing it. Like last weekend, for example, I had 20 guys out, and 2, Spesh came all the way from Pittsburgh, from the All-American, and Frank Connell came, and they played, mixed in with us, and we played some ball. At the end of the day, Spesh and Frank had some really good suggestions, and tomorrow and Sunday we're going to implement that, and then we'll see how it plays on Sunday.
Right.
That's the best way to do it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, they're not getting any field advantage because these fields aren't even close to set for the event. I won't even tape the legit fields or flag stations until probably the Friday before for the walkthroughs.
Yep.
So they're playing tough. I mean, the fields that you better be in shape if you're coming to this event. That's all I got to tell you. My calves from walking those fields were like I was doing leg toe raises for a week. When I got home, my calves were like from walking up and down the hills. Forget about running.
I wonder. I wonder
guys.
if the Corona couch potatoes. I was just thinking Corona couch potatoes. Beware. But that's a good. That might be a good team name. A good fun team name.
Yeah. No.
Sounds like the sort of fields I want to play. I'd love playing in sort of fields. The more physical the field is, the more I enjoy it because I'll still do a lot of training.
Yep.
Right. And the thing is, if you train and you go and play, but you take paintball as a proper competitive sport and you actually train to play paintball, you go on a field like that and you play up against guys that don't go training, right? You actually you do things that other guys can't do if you take the game seriously. Right? You can make those longer barricades and the longer breaks and you don't get tired. You're not a physical wreck come the end of the game. I mean, that's why I love going and playing in America. You know what I mean? Especially in them sort of fields.
Marcus, you would absolutely love these fields, Marcus.
I know I would. You know what?
Because I built them. When we built these fields, the size and your suggestions is exactly what I did. Like I took your input from 3,500 miles away. I really built fields that you would love. Did you see the videos I put up?
No, I haven't. No.
You never saw the 2 Facebook videos I put up?
No, mate.
For the Challenger, and I put up Ponderosa?
No, send them over to me.
My God, it took like one of my guys took a camera and walked Challenger, and I think the video, and he didn't even see the entire field. His walkthrough was like 8-9 minutes. 9-minute walkthrough. Yeah. He's walking in the beginning, and he's walking, and he goes, "All right, that's the 50. That took about 3 minutes."
No, yeah, but that's. I'm not. I said this last time when we spoke. You can see how excited I am, right? That's why I'm coming to play in America.
I know
at your site. That's what they're real Woodsball fields. This is what I'm getting excited. I'm getting hairs on the back of my neck standing up, just talking about them because that's what I love to play. It's real.
Me too.
Ball, right?
Me too.
That's what it's about. And as I said, these guys that play scenario games, like you're saying, if you have 10 guys come and play, potentially that could be they could all be team captains. That could be another 5 or 6 teams in a few years' time.
Right.
And that's what it's about. It's about spreading the love and getting these guys in. And you know what, Kev? Good for you, mate. I'm 110% behind you, mate. You'd always have my support.
I know you are.
All the time, mate.
No, it's these fields are. Look, I posted something on Challenger. I forget what I wrote under the video, but I said, Challenger is like definitely a description of this field, physically and mentally.
Yeah.
10 guys running out of a flag station and breaking out across this field is not going to win. You better be smart. You better have your, you better be able to move, horizontally, left and right, back and forth. You better be planning your offense as well as your defense. This isn't going to be where 10 guys run out getting a gun battle.
Yeah.
And just, use body count as a way to win the games because, if you're smart and you're playing against the team and you've got let's say a 7-on-4 disadvantage, you could still win.
Yeah.
You could still punch a wire and sneak in behind people. And the next thing you know, you're getting back shot going, where the hell did that come from? You're not seeing crossfield. You're not communicating crossfield.
No.
It's not happening. You're not seeing where everybody's breaking out. You're not seeing one field. You can get a little look at the breakout, but it's only because I ran out of land. I had to stay away from the road. But if I added another 20 yards, you wouldn't see the breakout. And then we have, all the rolling hills and the rolling terrain and the ridges on the sides of the fields and the stone walls through the 50 and the big hardwoods.
Yeah.
Take a look, Marcus. If you get a chance, go find the videos. I posted them on the Master Blasters Paintball team page as well as on my personal page.
Do me a favour, send them over to me, mate, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because
check them out.
I'm not very good with technology and stuff. I say, send them over to me, and I'll have a look at them, mate. And you know what? I don't know if I want to look at them. I'm going to get even worse. I'll get even worse.
They're just walkthroughs, not playing them. They're just walkthroughs.
Yeah, but I'll be getting.
But you'll like it.
You know what I mean? I'll be.
Yeah, there's no water barrels. There's no picket fences. There's no houses.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything that's on this field. I mean, we even took stone walls apart and built stone wall like barricades. You know, I mean,
I remember 25 years ago. I can remember them 25 years ago playing. But
yeah.
You know what? This is what I'm hoping that this videos that we do is generating an interest in what I call real Woodsball.
For sure.
Getting this sort of movement going again. If people watch these videos, you know what I mean, our enthusiasm, it isn't something that's false or we're putting on. And people can see how excited we are about it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get excited about stuff that easily anymore. And to get that excited about a paintball field just goes to show you what we know is people. If people have got the land and the time to put into a Woodsball field, everybody's happy. Because, like you turned around and said, a real Woodsball field, come the end of the day, when the tournament's finished, it's a 60-40 split on the wins. That's how you know that's a proper thought-out Woodsball field. If it's an 80-20, the guys really haven't put that much effort into it. Right? But as I said, no, it sounds really, really good. I'm incredibly jealous. Right? And I wish I was in America. I'll meet you to go and shoot somebody.
Are any of the fields around you even whispered about being open?
Not at the moment. I've got a very, very good friend of mine, a guy, Ross, down at Homebush, who actually owns Homebush Farm, where the Woodland Masters is held down there.
Yep.
Right, very, very, very good friend of mine. Also, another very, probably just as good a friend is Lawrence Beswick or Burswick. I can never pronounce his second name properly, and he'll tell me off for not getting it right.
Yeah.
He owns Campaign.
Okay.
And both of those guys have turned around and said to me they still haven't got the go ahead yet to have any sort of proper events. I'm hoping in about 3 to 4 weeks' time, when they ease the restrictions off a little bit over in the UK, we're going to be able to go out and have a few team practices. Just obviously to start getting back into the swing of things.
And it's kind of it's kind of like that here. But again, I'm in the Midwest, so I'm in the heartland, which is completely different than the coasts.
Yeah.
Even though the coasts are opening up some of our fields.
No, it's because I'm talking to a guy from England.
Barely.
He's coming in like.
You know what I mean? Like some of them barely closed. Maybe for a few weeks, but then they had, people who work there go out and play. At least now, things are starting to pick up. Fields around me have been open for a few weeks, but as I was saying to Marcus, Kevin, we're in the heartland, so it's a bit different than the coasts of concentration of players. So
yeah. Sorry about that, guys. My phone actually overheated and shut off.
Too much energy, too much excitement.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But
I think things are going to in the UK. I can't see any tournament paintball or any sort of paintball being played until probably to the late autumn.
Yeah.
Late autumn. I would turn around and estimate. You know what I mean? After that, I don't know. But as I said before, then I can't see anything over in the UK happening yet because the police are. There's still quite a lot of restrictions in place, which is, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. A lot of English people are more inclined to sort of do what they're told, if you know what I mean. And obviously, England's a lot smaller than what it is in America. You know what I mean? You could probably fit England in a couple of your states in one go. You know what I mean? So we're a lot more concentrated over here. So we have to behave ourselves as much as possible. I did try last week to go and do some media footage with my partner for the team and for the pre-cam stuff, but we wasn't allowed to go out onto the motorways because if you travel too far and the police stop you, they want to know where you're going, and you can't go into the woods either yet. You can now.
Yep.
Caught a couple of weeks ago. But
Hmm.
as I said, hopefully stuff's starting to ease off again there. But you know what?
Right.
I'm so excited. And I'm also upset that I can't be there for the first Woodsball World Cup because I believe this is the beginning again.
Right.
I think what you're doing, Kevin, this is the rebirth of what I call proper Woodsball, not these hybrid events that they say are Woodsball events, which they're not. Woodsball's Woodsball, and I think
Woodsball is Woodsball.
I think what you're doing is going to be the catalyst to get lots of other guys to have pure Woodsball events, and that's going to grow like it did years ago. I remember when I come to your first two events years ago that Jerry did. Then the next thing you had the World Cup in Florida, and you had loads and loads of teams. How many teams did you have? 60, 70 teams?
Oh yeah, easily
80 teams, and that was what 25 years ago.
Yep. We used to get those kind of numbers. We had 64 at the World Cup at Cherries before we moved.
That's right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I really, really do believe that this is the sort of the rebirth of like a phoenix. It's rising from the ashes again. You know what I mean? I think the stuff that we're doing,
we're trying.
The stuff that you're doing, and now with the classic movement, I think that so many people now want to play classic paintball, and they want to play real Woodsball. And with what you're doing, it's just going to make it grow even quicker. I think, because I think once people come and play Ponderosa and Challenger, and even if they can't play it, you've got a good video man down here doing lots of video footage for all the guys that can't travel there, and they can see how big the fields are and the breakouts and the stuff. Especially if you've got some guys up in some tree stands, like the tree stands that you do the bow hunting from.
Sure.
You could have a couple of guys up in the tree stands, because I'm not 100% sure. This time of year now, the trees are not in full bloom yet, are they?
Oh, ours are.
Oh, right.
Every week I go up there, it's different.
Right.
Everything's growing right now. I mean, it's every week. Right. The canopy gets thicker and thicker and thick.
What I'm saying, if you have one of the guys up in like the bow stand, like one of the tree stands that they do the bow hunting from, you can actually see the players a lot more than you could on the ground. So that way, then you might be able to spread the love a little bit further and get these videos out there for people that want to play, that wanted to come, that couldn't come, that can see what it's like. That might just be an idea.
Well, we have like one of the fields, Hudson, for example, the viewing area is on the top of a hill.
Yeah.
There's a ridge that runs along the length of the field, and that's where the viewing area will be. So you could actually, on Hudson, you can look down on that field.
Yeah. I played it.
So that's a field that we could video. Ponderosa's tough, Challenger stuff. Because the way the terrain rolls, you could lose 5 guys over a ridge, and you're not going to get a video of that. But Hudson would be a good field to do something like that.
I think that'd be a good idea, because it's obviously like we are. There's a lot of guys that want to come that we can't come.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think the more media footage you get of it and get it out there, I think it's going to be very, very well sort of taken. Like I think a lot of people would watch it and wait with bated breath until the next event, until the restrictions ease off, and we can all come again maybe next year.
Well, let's see. Hey, Brad, are you coming
to the World Cup? I am not 100% sure, but I am definitely going to try to.
If you can, there you go. I know Simon Stevens is supposed to come, so he'll do his magic.
Yep, that's what my question was going to be. Isn't Simon close to you? And I know that he's drawn like a moth to flame at those, and he does a great job filming them as well.
With an iPhone. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Simon should be here, but he's got babies, so I don't know whether he's going to have corona concerns,
Right.
I haven't spoken to him in a few months about it because I didn't really legitimately, I didn't have any idea what was going to actually happen, So I really should reach out to him and see if he's coming. But
he's
anybody that wants to come out and is seeing this, and is local and wants to do some filming, just hit me up, and I'll make sure it happens for you. I don't want just people wandering the fields.
No,
no. I want legit people that I know are going to actually do the right job.
Are the New York Ghosts still coming?
What, Marcus? I'm sorry.
The New York Ghosts. Are they still coming?
Chris Jones.
It zapped his power, Marcus. You've zapped his power.
Yeah, he always has technical issues, doesn't he? He's really makes me. I actually find it quite funny that he has technical issues, and I'm and I don't.
It is a consistent thing. We'll remove his flattering photo away from that.
And what? Yeah,
and with me, and with a lot of people now, the NXL is trying to have some kind of a semblance of a season where they're going to geographic regions. So they're going to have an event on the West Coast in Texas, and they're still deciding where to have the event on the East Coast. But since I'm coaching an NXL team now, I have to. They want to go out to the East to practice, and to play the event. They also want to go to the West Coast to practice and play an event. There's not many weekends left, to do all of that, but that's the kind of franchise that I'm dealing with. So my times, I don't even know. I'm going down there this weekend. I'm going down there next weekend. I've already been there, 2 or 3 times so far this season. It's been, it's fantastic. I love it, but I just don't know really what's going on from weekend to weekend.
How's that going to work though? Because obviously playing Woodsball, the proximity of the players is a lot more sort of spread out than what it is when you're playing airball. Airball, even like the field layouts, everybody's on top of each other, and the proximity of the players is a lot more, say, congested. So how's that going to work?
They haven't said anything about like adjusting how the game starts, but I could see going spread across the back line because it's basically benefits everyone mutually the same. I mean, essentially. I
know, but what I'm saying is though,
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, when you're playing Woodsball, the proximity of the players in eliminations is normally a lot greater distance than what it is when you're playing airball. When you're playing airball, the proximity of the players is a lot closer, and eliminations is a lot closer. And I know that they turn around and saying that you can't, when you're playing Woodsball, you can only have one player in a bunker, etc. How do you then police that when you're playing airball? Because players that it's like, I'll give an example. Probably the size of an airball field, where you've got I don't know what the size of the teams. I say 10 or 14 players on the field. Right? You'd normally on a Woodsball game have 3 players in that same sort of area. So or 3 or 4 players. So that's going to be difficult, isn't it? Until they lift the restrictions. So that might be another thing. As I said, also as well, you might have them. I'm not 100% sure, but you might be able to go and play Woodsball, right, a lot quicker than you'd be able to play airball, because obviously if they're doing any form of social distancing regulations, that's going to be a lot easier to have an event playing Woodsball than it would be playing airball. Do you agree, Kevin?
Oh, absolutely. We've adapted rules that are definitely including social distancing. Like you guys were saying earlier, we have 60-foot start box now.
Right.
And everybody starts 6 feet apart across the back wire. Yeah. We've played it with the entire field. Yeah. You could start anywhere along the behind the flag station's back wire, but I think I'm going to bring it a little closer because I'm worried about early starts
So
yeah,
guys jumping early. It's hard to watch 10 guys break out from 125 feet.
Right. Well, so at this moment in time, Woodsball's going to be coronavirus friendly. Yeah. So if people out there want to go and play paintball and they're a little bit worried about maybe catching coronavirus or passing it on to a friend, then go and play Woodsball. You've got a lot less chance catching it.
Right.
What I was saying earlier on was Chris Jones from the New York Ghosts. Are they still playing, Kevin?
No, they pulled out. They had some kind of issue. They spoke to Jerry, so I didn't speak to him. I don't know whether they had an issue with the date change or you guys weren't coming. I don't know what the story is. I would have liked to have still had him,
Okay, well, what I'm going to do after this conversation, I'll talk to Chris Jones. Kevin, I'll talk to Chris because I actually sponsor his team with Camo. And I'm just going to give him a little... He was really, really kind. They just had some new stickers and some new artwork done. And look what he's done. He sent me over, right? He managed to get these over before the lockdown. He sent me over some really, really fantastic stickers and stuff. And he's also sent me over a lovely picture of the team for me, right?
Yep.
So, to be honest with you, I'm really, really chuffed about it. You know what I mean? This turned up.
Well, they should come and represent you. And you should stow aboard something and come here and play with them. How about that?
Do you know what? If I could, trust me. If I could, honestly, I'm excited without even being there. Right,
I mean, I'm sure you can stow away on something and get here,
Oh, mate, do you know what? When they turned around and told us, when the British Airways said us we're cancelling all flights to America, right? And my head went down. And to be honest with you, when the coronavirus started, I was sitting there going like this: please God, don't cancel the event. Don't cancel the event. Well, obviously, God isn't a paintball player. Right? Well, he's not an English paintball player. Let's put it that way. Right?
Well, things like this have never been favorable. The weather gods have always been against us. I mean,
yeah, but
I hope for the best, but what are you going to do?
You know what? What I'm doing now, I'm planning on next year, getting everything built up and ready for next year. We'll come next year. You know what I mean? As I said, the thing with it, what will be good, right? You're gonna have an opportunity to run an event. So if the fields do need to be tweaked, they're going to be even better next year.
Right.
Right? They'll be even better. So if there's any little gremlins that you need to iron out, by the time I come out there next year, they'll all be ironed out. You know what I mean? So, but I'm really, really upset I couldn't be there with you to support you and be there for the rebirth of Woodsball in America, because that's what I believe it is.
Yeah.
You agree, Kev? Oh, we've lost Kevin again.
No,
Kevin?
I think he's just pausing or falling slightly behind.
No, I'm yelling at the family that's yapping away over here, and I can't hear you guys. Third time. Next, get the garden hose out and spray them all down. Get rid of them.
No, I was saying, do you believe like what you're doing is the rebirth of Woodsball in America? I think proper Woodsball.
Well, trying real hard. This is the 10th year I've tried to do this.
Yeah, I know.
The first Woodsball World Cup that we actually tried was in 2010.
Yeah.
And
but it's all about.
I was hoping that this one actually was successful till the coronavirus.
Right.
Yeah, I think. Well, you never know. Maybe next year, if you had 40 teams this year, you might have 80 teams next year.
Yeah. I don't even know if I want 80 teams.
No, but listen, long as you make sure I've got a spot, I don't really care.
Come on, you've got a spot. You know that.
I'm playing, mate.
Never say no to you. I'll make a spot for you.
Thank you very much. What I'm hoping to do as well, by then, I'm hoping to bring a couple of other English teams with me as well.
Well, that'd be great.
There's a couple of other English teams. There's an English team that are doing very, very well at the moment that beat us quite a few times, to be honest. A team called Blow. We're very, very good over here. And also, you've got Nicky Truter's team, which is...
the Rushers?
That's the Rushers, that's it, yeah. the Russians.
Yeah,
They might come over with us, and maybe the Turks as well. You know what I mean? There's quite a few
that'd be
English teams
great.
that'd love to come over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll talk to Leds and Jules and those guys and get me, a Sandbaggers team where the Bonsais, get them back.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, Leds was actually going to play with us.
He was.
Leds was going to be playing. After all these years, I've managed to twist Leds' arm enough to get him into a UK Predators vest, and he was going to come over and play. Right. So next year, if it's on, I've already turned around and told Les the deal still stands. You're not going to get that away that easy.
Yeah. Right, got Jacko.
Sorry,
Jacko's like 4.5 hours away.
Yeah. Well, I think Jacko turned around and said he was going to come down. Because what you have to appreciate, Leds obviously owns Planet Eclipse with Julian, but Ledsley foremost is a paintball player. He's a businessman, but he's a paintball player, and he still gets just as excited as what I do about playing. And he wanted to come and play.
I played against him in the Sandbaggers a couple of times in the UWL. He's still got game.
Yeah, he's a good paintball player. I'm not being funny. There isn't too many guys in England that I would invite to come over and play with us. I know Ledge is my sponsor, but if he wasn't capable, worthy of wearing a Predator top and a good enough player, he wouldn't be playing. But he can fill one of those tops really, really easily. You know what I mean? So, but as I said, next year.
He's a smart player, too. He's more dangerous because of his brains than he is his skill. He's a smart paintball player,
He is very, very tactical. Yeah, he's very, very tactical.
Smart man.
Yeah, he's very, very He's a very tactical paintball player. You know what I mean? But as I said, I'm looking forward now to traffic to endure the footage of the Woodsball World Cup and sit there and go cheer for you, but cry at the same time.
Yeah, you could have been here.
I know, exactly. Yeah, you send me a T-shirt over, say, Marcus, you could have been here.
Fantastic. Hey, Marcus, another thing that we needed to discuss is that the video that was just dropped on the Predators. Could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
What it basically was is I've got a friend of mine, Connor McGowan, the guys, and he does some videos for a Planet Eclipse, and he does quite a bit of media stuff over here, right? And what he basically done, he was sitting down and he was bored indoors, and he had quite a bit of footage of the UK Predators playing at some different events. So next thing I know, this video appears on Facebook, right, as a surprise. Right, he sent me a message saying, Marcus, I've got a surprise for you. Watch this. And my God, what a surprise!
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my business partner in Predcam, Martin Draper, he does all the team media, and he's very, very critical of other media people that does stuff. But he turned around and said, you know what? He couldn't have done it better himself.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of my American friends that follow me on my Facebook page, other paintball players, have contacted me and said, what a fantastic video. Because I had one guy, he actually called me, right? And he said he's watched the video 4 times because it made the hairs on the back of his neck stand up.
Yep.
Right? And to be honest with you, that's exactly what he did for me. To get a video, normally when you get a video, either the footage of the team's really good and the music's average, or the music is amazing and the footage is average.
Right.
But to get both that work together,
it's truly hard.
To try and find the right piece of music for how the team plays, he pulled it off. And it
absolutely
amazing. You know what I mean?
It was a great video. It was a great video, really was. Well done. Very well done.
Yeah, Connor, if you can hear me, brother, you know what, mate? Well done. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All my American friends. Brad, tell my friend Connor the sort of response it got in America, please.
Well,
unbelievable.
When I first dropped the video, or when I first saw that it was coming, I shared it to some of my pages, so it was almost instantaneous from when it dropped. I saw it and I knew that it was going to be well received. Within the 2 hours, it did eclipse the 2,000 view mark, which is absolutely astonishing for a paintball video to take off like that. I haven't seen it recently, but again, within 2 hours, having 2,000 people look at it, that kind of shows the intensity of the video and how well it was received.
Yeah, thank you. As I said, I said to him, if you keep on doing surprises for me, I won't say no.
No, right.
Well, Connor, if you're watching this and you ever come to the States, you better call me because I want a video. I want a video of the blasters. So.
Right.
Well, if you're watching this, hit me up.
Oh, mate. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you. I'll get him to friend you on Facebook. All right? How's that?
Okay.
I'll get him to send you a message over and stuff because I said he wants to. He's doing. I've got to go and meet him next weekend. He's doing like a review on my Predcam for me. The Predcam, the camo. He's doing a review on the goggles and the gun and some other stuff in that. Because he said to me, he can't go back to work at the moment because all his stuff's been cancelled. Well, I'm getting bored, Marcus. I want to do some more stuff. I said, you know what? Fantastic. I hope the coronavirus goes on a little bit longer.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, but as I said, everything's good, mate. You know what I mean? I just feel as if I just hope everybody can sort of pull through what's going on at the moment, and everyone all get just get our lives back together. Really, I don't think it makes any difference what country we come from. I think everybody suffered, right? We're all sort of feeling the effects of what's gone on. I just want our world to go back to normal as quickly as possible, and wish everybody all the best of love in the world, best of luck, and all the love in the world, and hope everybody's well and safe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, with the current climate over in the UK, some people around here, at least players I know, are clamoring for Planet gear. Is there any kind of insight that you could give us as to when you think potentially months, give us, are we talking weeks or are we talking months?
No, I would turn around and say, to be realistic, I would turn around and say another 3 to 4 weeks, I think, over in the UK. They're starting to lift restrictions. But if anybody now that watches this video, right, if you send me a friend request, I'll add you to my Facebook page, and then you can ask me when Plenty Eclipse is opening, and I can tell you, because once I've finished this video, I will speak to Lids, and I will get a proper opening time when Planet Eclipse is going back, and I'll send it to you, Kevin, as well, so other people will know when Planet Eclipse is going back. I know that Leeds has been back to work, but all his staff are what they call furlonged at the moment.
Right.
So they've been laid. Haven't been laid off. The government is paying their wages at the moment, but obviously with the social distancing and stuff, I would turn around and estimate. I would say another 3 to 4 weeks. If it's any quicker than that, I will let people know. If it's any longer than that, I will let people know.
Wonderful. And we can definitely, that can be one of the topics that we, touch when we do these shows weekly as well.
Yeah. You know what I mean? As I said, I think I did have a list of people that asked me questions, right? But to be honest with you, I don't know what I've done with it. So I will find it. I will find it for next week.
I'm in the same boat with you there, Marcus. I got to be honest with you. I had some around here that I was looking for and was out as well. But it brings me to kind of like the next question or another topic. Kevin, you're playing this weekend. I know I'm going out of town, but it's going to be more on the airball side of things. But I played I hosted an event last weekend that, although it rained, we got about 20 or so people that braved the rain and came out and played and enjoyed. And that was a classical. It's call it more of the speedball in the woods kind of element, but that's kind of what I'm dealing with from people or players who like it. They're larger fields, especially for 5-man. I mean, they're giant fields for 5-man. But it's growing, and it's one of those things where it's little steps, because some guys looked at the large field that we didn't play and they're like, wow, how big is that? And, you know, again, it has the potential to be a proper Woodsball field. But again, it's one of those things that I'm seeing now. The more that I pay attention, there are fields that are bridging the gap or blurring the lines. Let's say blurring the lines, where they set up snakes constructed of almost perfectly stacked logs with knuckles. I believe it was the Farm. I want to give credit to the fields who it was. The Farm is a new field opening in the southern United States, and I saw that they had what they were calling a snake with knuckles, which was on a Woodsball field. But again, it's one of those things where I'm not upset by it, because I believe that it might get more of the airball or different crowd into it. It's just one of those things where I'm conflicted. Does that make sense? Where I'm conflicted?
I 100%. I agree with you. That's not Woodsball,
right?
But
it just because it's in the woods doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make it Woodsball. If you take a patch of woods with some trees and a canopy and throw airball bunkers on it, that's not Woodsball. You know, not in my opinion. But you know, given the current environment, it's definitely a step in the right direction. So you know, I'll live with that. You know, it's better than cutting all the trees down and building an airball field.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
But you know, I mean, look, I've been doing this. If you just think about it, 15 years ago, nobody wanted to do this at all. Right. Nobody wanted to do this at all. So we had to, 15 years ago, convince people that this was a format that was viable and fun. Then we had to drag them out of either the airball world or the scenario world. And trust me, that was a fight. It was a battle. And step by step, one little bite at a time, we got to where we are today.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, the way, and we still don't have enough teams interested to sustain any real kind of tournaments around the world or the country. You know, I mean, so if a field like the Farm or anybody else wants to put a snake barricade made out of natural, you know, the natural environment right now, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Get the airballers off the airball field and get them out here, because anybody that plays this game, I don't care what venue you've played before, in this format, they absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And they get the bug. And that's how we're going to grow this thing. One player at a time, one 5-man at a time, one 7-man at a time, one 10-man at a time. That's how it's going to go. And that's pretty much, you know, when I go back to the early 80s, 1983, that's what we were doing just to get people to come out and play the game. Forget about play the format.
Right. Exactly.
If you think about it, if you've been around as long as me and you're playing, you know, in the second year of the existence of paintball, people just trying to get people to come out and try the game in any form.
Right.
Was what we're doing right now at Woodsball.
Yep.
It's all over again. I've lived this. This is the second time for me.
Right.
Marcus, you in the UK, probably the same thing, remember?
Yeah, brother.
You did what?
Yeah, do you know what, though? What I will say, you can have sort of some form of barricades made out of natural foliage that might resemble something similar to what the airball guys play on. But if the field is big enough, it doesn't play the same as it would do when you play airball. It's just another
on my field. It's a perfect point. On my fields, if I built a snake, maybe one guy would go in it and then nobody would ever go near it again because it's useless. Absolutely useless.
Right. This is what I'm saying. That sort of barricade, that sort of setup only works when the fields are really small. If the fields are big, it doesn't work. Right? You can have, as I said, you can have one of the bigger. We discussed this in an article. Sorry, not an. I've done an article on it actually, and the last podcast. It's all about the size of the fields. You can have lots and lots of different type barricades, bunkers, natural foliage, whatever you want to put on there. As long as you give a Woodsball player enough room to play his game, you can incorporate some of that stuff on a Woodsball field. If the field is big enough for you to maneuver and use your paintball brain. If you make the field smaller, then it becomes airball or speedball in the woods fields. It's all about
Marcus,
the size
when
of
you're
the
playing, when you're playing a large field, in my opinion, you want to play paintball on your feet. Not on your belly.
Right.
If you're crawling, you're crawling. Right. If you're in a small bunker tight in the front, you're doing that. But you got to be on your feet. You got to make a 20-yard run, not a 20-foot run. You're playing on your feet.
Yeah, no, I agree. But what I'm saying is, though, if like what Brad was saying, if it's encouraging, if some of these guys, because obviously it's all down to the actual natural foliage. Some guys are blessed with big trees, bricks, walls, ravines, crevices, all that sort of stuff. Other places are not, right? But if they are, like you turned around and said, if I was going to go and play on a field in America, which was big, to add some barricades, natural foliage barricades that resembled something that was on a speedball field, I'd still play it. To be honest, if the field was big enough, and if, like you said, if these guys are doing that, then do you know what? If they go and play those fields and they like it, wait till they go and play a real Woodsball field. Then they're
going to love it even more.
Yeah, it's a step forward, not a step back.
Exactly, where it's close. It's like margarine. It's not quite butter, but it's margarine, and it's okay.
It's a step forward. It's a step forward in the right direction, not a step back.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The difference with it is, like we discussed before, it's when they make the fields. Some of these other guys putting these other events on, when they have these real small fields and there's loads of pallet like ply-ball barricades and silly things and stuff, and the teams can't move, then that's not Woodsball.
Right.
But what Kevin's doing, no. And the bigger the fields, as I said, it's a step forward.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
For me, I know it's one of my favourite sayings when I say for me, but if you're a real true paintball player, anybody that goes and plays on a big paintball field will enjoy it. If you're into paintball, if you're not just into the shooting your gun and seeing how much paint you can shoot at somebody, you actually want to play paintball, move and play a game of tactical paintball, which Woodsball is. The bigger the field is, the more you enjoy it. And a real paintball player will always enjoy those fields. Do you agree with that, Kevin? Kevin's froze again. He always has technical issues. That poor Kevin, doesn't
he? Yeah.
Oh,
Kevin and his.
You know what? I think he's gonna have to come to England and stay with me next time we do a podcast.
Right.
We get better reception in England than does in New York.
At least this picture isn't terrible to keep up, so it makes it seem like Kevin's there to agree with us. Isn't that right, Kevin? Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. Exactly. And then he drops. The thing is, Marcus, is I appreciate all the time and effort and energy that you're doing to promote paintball and Woodsball and your sponsors. It's a great thing. It really is, and people are responding very well to it. So that I wanted to make sure that I touched on.
Are the people that see these videos, they enjoy them?
I'm sorry?
I said, are the people that watch our podcast, are they enjoying them? Do they
yes,
agree with them?
Very much so.
Do they agree with a lot of the stuff that we talk about?
Absolutely. All the people that are, I haven't had anybody vocally disagree. They have like opinions where, you know, hey, I like this field or that field. And again, it's one of those things where we're not saying that we don't like fields. It's just, it's the how to, I mean, it's one of the first questions that we asked when we were together is how do you define a proper Woodsball field? And we came up with a pretty good equation. Kevin's event is pretty much putting that on full out display. And you know, there's
guys,
as long as people
can I interrupt you for a minute?
Absolutely.
I got to interrupt you for a minute. I'm having trouble here, technical trouble, so I'm going to have to sign off.
Oh,
not a problem.
I hate to do it to you guys, but
we're just singing
I'm going to be gone. So, you know, again, anybody interested in coming to the Woodsball World Cup, hit me up. Marcus, great seeing you as usual. Hope to see you soon. Brad, thank you for having me on. I'm sorry I'm having trouble. I'm using my phone and it's overheating and I can't get it to charge because it's shutting off every time I plug in. So before I'm gone, just let it blink. I'm going to say goodbye.
Oh, God bless, brother.
Yep. Bye, Kevin.
Perfect. Phone died perfect at that
time. Kevin's cursing on the way out. It's a fantastic thing. That's exactly how it would be.
Go on, mate. You were saying?
No. What was I actually saying before Kevin got in there?
The actual videos are being received, the podcasts are being received. You said people sort of like agree or disagree.
Yes. No, people are responding to it, especially the players that have experienced the larger fields. Yeah. Those are the ones who are the most vocal, who say, yes, that is an element that's missing from some local events or regional, even some national events. But again, it's one of those things where there are fields around my area that were known to be giant fields that before weren't very popular, but then they became the rage, you know, in the 90s and 2000s, and then fell out of flavor because it went to airball. But there's, you know, those fields exist. And that's like encouraging for some of those older fields who have Woodsball fields who were, you know, left. Those fields left because they went to airball.
As I said, I'm just glad. As I said, I'm hoping if, like you said, if people sort of pick up on my enthusiasm and stuff, I hope it sort of spurs more people to come and play Woodsball with a bit of luck.
Oh, it definitely has. It definitely has. And that's one of the things that's great about this. I was talking to somebody who used to be a very high up in the industry, and he was commenting on the type of shows, the type of people, the type of content that we cover is right in his wheelhouse. And again, it's one of those things where it's encouraging to keep going because people enjoy it. The numbers will be good, and that's just how it is.
Oh, mate. Oh, let's hope. Oh, mate. Well, look, what we do then? We'll sign off. And you?
No, that's perfect. We finish it now. We're at an hour, so let's just anybody who wants to contact Marcus had a very generous offer with the Planet Eclipse thing. I want to thank you again, Marcus, and thank everybody for joining us and bearing with our technical difficulties, which evidently Kevin is just rife with. Maybe we'll start a GoFundMe so Kevin gets a new phone, but we'll take it from there. So Marcus, again, thank you very much for everything, my brother.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, mate. What I'll do, as I said, I'll contact Legs. I'll speak to him in person. As soon as I find out when Planet is back open, I will contact you, and then you can just put it up, or people can send me a friend request, and they can talk to me directly. All right?
Yep, and I'll schedule this show to come out on Sunday.
Okay, brother. No problem.
Okay, so it'll be Sunday afternoon here. So it'll be early evening for you.
That'd be fine, man. All right, brother. You take
Thank
care.
you very much.
You're more than welcome as always. God bless you, all right? God
Thank
bless
you.
everybody. Take care and be safe.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marcus.
Bye, mate.
Bye.